Welcome to my home in Islington. I'm gonna go for a quick walk outside and show you what Canonbury is like. This is my street. There's an old pub that's been converted into flats here. Beautiful sunny weather. I'm just walking now behind my street. You can see there's a large number of good size Victorian and Georgian houses down here. That typical London sandstone style. It's spring and the blossoms have decided to come out. Although we're only one street behind the main road, you can hear it's a lot quieter here in this residential suburb. This is the very heart of Canonbury. On the right there, you can see Canonbury Tavern, which is where George Orwell used to drink, as well as Evelyn Waugh. Traditional red phone box and all. These are local shops. I think they're primarily decorative. There's a few larger shops on the high street, but these are kind of picturesque 19th century shops. In the distance just before, on the right, you can see the oldest building in Canonbury, which is the Canonbury Tower. There used to be an observatory on the top of that tower over there on the left. It's built in the Tudor times and passed through the hands of various nobles. And this is a square where George Orwell used to live, the guy who wrote 1984. Apparently the square was voted one of the best London squares in the 50s. I mean, I don't think it's all that, but there is something nice about it being a lovely sunny day and, the locals being out and about. I'm heading back into the residential suburbs of Canonbury now. These are some of the very large older houses. You can see the size of them is a lot bigger than a modern house. Typically people would have had servants back in the day and they needed space for the domestics. This is one of my favourite houses over here on the right. Even the lampposts are in keeping with the period. And there we got the pub, and to the right is the new river, which was built a very long time ago, so it's not very new, to pipe water in to Canonbury and Islington. Now I'm about to leave Canonbury proper behind, and I'm going to head out onto the Essex Road. This park is pretty much the edge of Canonbury, and the Essex Road here, it's one of the main thoroughfares in Islington. It's not as pretty and countrified as Canonbury, but it does head down towards Angel, which is where I'm going now, and this street here, just near Angel, this has to be one of the best streets for restaurants and bars in London. It's literally everything you can imagine. In the distance you can see the tower of the Angel pub there, right, which is there's the shopping mall. Just behind the high street, we're starting to head into the more down area of Islington. This is where a lot of the social housing was built in the 60s. It's still reasonably nice, but it's not as pretty as the suburbs. Now I've left Islington completely, and there you can see the train station, King's Cross and Pancras in the background. On my way to Bloomsbury, this square was bombed in the war, so you can see on the right period houses, on the left a lot of social houses. This bit of Islington was a graveyard, but no one can be buried here now. Now I'm just heading into Bloomsbury. Up ahead you can see another 60s building known as the Brunswick. It has a very good cinema and a waitress, so quite upmarket for I think what used to be council housing. Here I am in Tavistock Square with a statue of Virginia Woolf, the famous writer. And Virginia is sharing the square with several furry friends, including a cheeky squirrel over here that this man I think has been feeding, and several ravens. They ought to be having a good time. Here I am in Bloomsbury, London. Weather's great. It's a lot of markers of spring. Now in Gordon Square, on the left, we practice the house where famous economist John Maynard Keynes lived. He was friends with Virginia Woolf and other members of the Bloomsbury Group, a set of intellectuals and artists and literature writers in the early 20th century. Up ahead I can see Dr. Williams Library, which is a theological institution, and a bust of Rabindranath Tagore, famous Indian poet. You'll see when I turn the camera around just now. The square and the surrounding buildings are all owned by the university, and a lot of them are accommodation or residences for the students. And up ahead is one of my favourite buildings in London. The bookshop on Gower Street. This is where we start.